Let's go.
I was just reminded that 9 years ago today, I had the first, how do I get these words out? My first experience dating as a fat person, and I was in high school and I was just a baby, and I wish I could go back and hug her. Way too young to be on dating apps, but it's right when they first came out. And so my friends and I would joke around and we would just talk to some people, and it was fairly innocent. And there was this one boy I was talking to that was like more upstate New York or maybe west or somewhere else, not near where I was living. We had been talking for a bit, and we never really planned to meet up just because neither of us had cars or a license yet or anything like that. But I was going to a concert with my friend, and it was in the town that he was in, and he was also going to that concert. And so we thought it would be a perfect idea to meet up then. I had shared with the kid that I was curvier, thicker. Frankly, I was actually 100 pounds lighter than I am now. And we had sent each other pictures back and forth. He knew exactly what I looked like. I wasn't trying to fake anything because the last thing I wanted to do was for him to be shocked and I'd be a catfish. I get to the concert, I'm so excited, I'm texting him, I'm thinking, I'm finally gonna have my first kiss. I see him from afar, I go to text him and say, hey, let's meet up, and he blocks me. And I'm like, I did not come all this way to be blocked. So I went up to him and tried to start a conversation, gave him a hug, and he was so awkward. So I left him alone. I went on with the day, and eventually he unblocked me, and I was like, what happened? And he was like, you're not curvy, you're fat. It was so creepy. You creeped me out so much. Like, how come you stalked me? How come you came to this concert? All this stuff. And I was like, we planned it. It was gaslighting. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, and I hated myself. And oh my God, relax. I thought, I will never find anybody if I am the way I am. And it's just so sad. And that would start the disaster of me dating and online dating for the rest of my life as a fat person. And I want you to know that if you're doing that, I see you, I hear you, I've been there. You're gonna find your person, and they're gonna love all of you.
Is everybody ready for today's misadventures in plus-size dating? Because Lord knows I wasn't. This is probably the quickest I've ever been ghosted, especially by someone who approached me on not a dating app, but social media. So literally last week, I got some likes on here and then a follow from someone who was my type and I thought was cute, so I liked their content, so I followed them back. And then they messaged me to start a conversation. It didn't take long for us to realize there was like chemistry between us and we were both attracted to each other, and so we decided to exchange numbers and the conversation kept flowing from there. This was like midweek last week, and he had a trip coming up this past weekend to California. He lives in Brooklyn, and so we kind of had a game plan to like keep talking to each other. And he even was talking to me on his flight to California whenever he had Wi-Fi on the plane. Now, mind you, yes, we were very flirty with each other, but we also talked about real things to get to know each other. It wasn't just pure flirtation and like lust or something. It was also actual conversation. So then once he gets to California, he doesn't tell me he lands. I just kind of assume because he stops texting. And I knew he was going to be celebrating his buddy's birthday and hanging out with everyone. So I didn't really pressure the situation because we just started talking. So long story short, the weekend passes and I don't hear anything from him. But again, I wasn't like bothered by that because we just started talking. So I figured, oh, I'll hear from him Monday. Monday comes, we end up talking a bit throughout the day. I even give him the opportunity, to say like, yeah, I figured you were busy, but I just want to, see if you were still interested. And if not, it's totally cool. If you're not feeling it anymore, just let me know. I don't like to beat around the bush. So if I'm feeling like any type of energy is slightly off, I just like to see what they say. And he reassured me. He told me that wasn't the case. He was just super busy and not on his phone much, blah, blah, blah. And he was getting back in the swing of things at work, etc. So we keep talking throughout yesterday, which was Monday. And we even talked about still doing a FaceTime date, which we had talked about last week. And we were planning on doing it this week. And he seemed into it still. And The last I heard from him after that was he asked me how my night was going last night. And so I responded and asked, what about you? What are you up to? And that was when the crickets started. He never texted me back last night. And then I thought, well, maybe he fell asleep and was just tired from his trip. And then this morning comes, still nothing. And then it becomes the afternoon. And I'm just like, this is weird. And I'm feeling like a definite energy shift. I end up looking on here and noticing that for some reason it says I should follow him back instead of that I'm already following him, which I was. And I thought that was odd. So I was like, okay, why would he remove me as a follower but still be following me? Maybe it's a glitch. But then I check Instagram and he unfollowed me and removed me as a follower on there. Didn't block me on anything, but definitely made sure we weren't following each other on Instagram. So obviously I just decided to block him on everything. That is my latest misadventure in plus size dating, if you can even call it that, because this was like barely a talking stage and we couldn't even get through that to get to an actual date. So it's ridiculous. I don't understand why men do these things. I'm over it. So tell me your thoughts below.
Story time on how I got played by some guy that I met at the fair. So my friends invited me to the fair and I went because I was like, why not? Like, I want to go out, so I might as well just go, right? So me and my friends were walking around the fair and y'all know I'm a little TikTok famous or whatever. And he was acting like a little fan. He was like, can I get a picture? And I was like, okay. We took the picture, right? And he was like, let me get your number. I don't give out my number. And also, he also gave me the vibe that he makes fun of fat people. So I was like, you can get my Instagram. But he really wanted my number. And I was like, no, you could get my Instagram. So I gave him my Instagram. Also, to add on to not giving him my number and my Instagram. But I was like, you know what? Maybe he's not like those type to make fun of fat people. Like, maybe he actually likes me because at this time I was down 60 pounds. So I was like, maybe like guys like him are starting to like me. No, I was all wrong. So me and the guy started texting, right? And I still had, I still had my guard up because like he really gave me the type that he makes fun of fat people. Like you could tell right away when a guy is just trying to make fun of you. When we started texting, he would only text me at night and we're like all day and only text me at night. And he would say, oh, I'm busy. Bruh, he would text me hella late. I work at 5 in the morning. I sleep at 8, 9 p.m. Like, I don't do that night shit no more. He would constantly tell me to let's FaceTime and I would kind of like avoid the question because I don't want to give him my number. But this one day, I did give him my number. That's where everything went wrong. I'm really scared this man is going to expose my number. But it's okay because I'm not going to say his name because like, I'm not like that. So we FaceTime, right? He started asking the weirdest questions. First, he was asking me my body count. Obviously, I lied because, like, you're not going to know my real body count because, no. Y'all want to know the crazy part? What he told me? He was like, so how do you do it? Because, like, I've done it with a chubby girl, but never that big. What? To add on the body count, he was telling me he went out with his friends, right? And he was telling me that him and his friends were talking about me trying to figure out if I was a virgin or not. He also told me, did you get on the rides at the fair? Like, he was saying it like if, did you even fit on the rides at the fair? Like, he also told me, you're not even famous. You're just known. How am I just known? I have people following me from LA, from Texas, from Chicago, from Mexico, from New York. Not just Cali, not just the Bay Area. People from other states, countries follow me too. Like, he was just really being a big hater. Mind you, this man is not all that. I've talked to finer guys than him. And, like, obviously, like, in a secret way, but way more finer than him. Like, he really just, like, played the fuck out of me in my face. And he made the lame-ass excuse to end the FaceTime call. And I blocked him on my phone number on Instagram because I'm like, you really just try to make fun of me. And I'm not here for it. Like, I'm not here for it. So, that is my life, guys. I think I'm gonna start doing more story times like this because like I think it's kind of cool because like I usually don't talk shit about this, but like honestly, like who cares as long as I don't say names because hopefully he doesn't like give my number out because like I'm gonna need to change my number and everything.
It doesn't matter how old you get, it never hurts less. So, a little update. I've been talking to the guy since early May, over 2 months, and we had a few dates, and I thought it went really well. We have everything in common. He texts me all day, every day. Same shared values, same life goals, same interests, really good banter. And he told me that I was smart and funny, and he told me that I was beautiful, which is the first time it's ever happened in my whole life. And we went on a few dates, and then we were talking, and he just said he's really concerned that of my lack of physical activity, and I guess he's been trying to convince himself to find me attractive because I had such a good personality. And I told him that I didn't think that he should have to convince himself to find me attractive, and that I'm happy with my body, and it's okay if other people aren't. And it's really hard. I know it's the right thing, and I do believe that. It just is never easier. When you're dating and you're plus sized, it never really gets easier. And I'm sharing this because I, of course, turned to my girlfriends, but I forgot for a minute that they're all very beautiful and thin, and they've never had guys on the internet or just in life to their face tell them that they were ugly before. And so I know that there's a lot of other people like me on TikTok, because I've seen a lot of you, and it's okay if it hurts. And you're not alone. And I really hope that one day we can get beyond fat phobia, and maybe I'll meet someone.
Okay, so here's another story time of dating while I was like very, very big. So I went through a very, very dry spell of dating. So I ended up on like the armpit of dating in the late 2000s, which was plentyoffish.com. If you never experienced plentyoffish.com, count yourself lucky. But anyways, I talked to this dude named Spencer. We met on Plenty of Fish, and we talked for like a good few weeks. And by talk, I mean like we were texting like all day long, like getting to know one another. So anyways, I had lots of pictures of myself on Plenty of Fish. Several of them were at least from the waist up. But anyways, we decided we were going to meet each other. We lived like 2 or 3 hours away from one another. We decided we were going to meet each other halfway in the middle. So it was like an hour away from me at a mall. So I was like, hey, before we meet each other, like I am a larger girl, I want to send you a few more full body pictures so that way you know who you're meeting. And he was like, okay, no problem. So I sent him a few more pictures. He saw them. He was like, okay, yeah, no problem. I think you're beautiful, la, 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 la. So I think we're good. So I show up at this mall, and we meet in the parking lot, and he's super nice. He gives me a hug. He's like holding my door. He buys me lunch. We walk around the mall. We talk. We sit on a bench. We make out several times. And so we hang out for like 3 or 4 hours, and I think this date goes really well. So we leave. We kiss before we leave, and so we leave. And so I drive home. I get home, and I text him, and I'm like, hey, I made it home. No response for a few hours. I hear nothing. And so then all of a sudden later that night, he like texts me these paragraphs like crashing out saying that I catfished him, that I was bigger than my pictures that I sent him, and he couldn't believe that I would do that to him, that I wasted his time and all this stuff, and just like completely crashed out on me. So yeah, no moral of the story. That was just like another example of men being really crappy to me when I was plus size. So I like catfished him, but he made out with me multiple times. So yeah.
Let's talk about what it's like dating as a big girl, as a plus size person. Like the most intimidating thing you can do when you're a big person is date. Dating is so nerve-wracking as it is, but meeting somebody, especially meeting people online, y'all, that shit is so damn scary, because I'm always worried, like, am I too fat for them, or do they look at me, even if I'm dating somebody, are they looking at me thinking like, I can't wait for them to lose weight, because that is so scary. That shit is so scary. I remember being in high school, I feel like I never dated, because when I was like in year 7, I remember someone told me a boy liked me, so I went up to him and was like, hey, do you want to like hang out? And he was like, why would I ever date a fatty? And since that moment, I just like didn't end up dating again in high school, because that shit is so scary. Like the dating scene in Australia for big girls is non-existent, girl. When I go to Bali, hello, I'm dating. I'm out here on dates. I'm being picked up, girl. Like it's easy. But in Australia as a big girl, that shit is so intimidating.
That is it for today. Ladies, be sure to always remember your worth. You are shining, and never settle for a man who can't see your glow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below what you thought about these ladies' plus-size dating horror stories, and let me know what you guys want to see next. And never forget, hope will always win.